whatever gospel comes out of this room to those people who didn't spend the $55 to be here today. So thanks a lot. Rocket Group, @Rocket Group, that's my logo, and that's space behind it. And let me reconnect here. Oh, it's going to be that kind of thing. All right, so while I fidget with this thing here, this is my biography. You read the thing in the program. I used to wear suits and ties all the time as a government dude, and I did some political stuff. I've always been active in my community and charities and such. I've been in the business world for 21 plus years, and I own the Rocket Group going on 13 next year. And for whatever it's worth, which is about an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that they print out, I'm a 4-time certified social media strategist. And again, oh, by the way, is there any cats in the room? Because I'm going to use the laser. There's my Twitter, my Facebook, and of course, as those of you who have been tweeting, there's my glasses friend here, you've been tweeting Tech Day, the staff's been tweeting, Dave, you've been tweeting. Hashtag is Tech Day. Key point, we're going to try to have some fun. We're going to move quickly. I've got a 45-minute hard limit before you guys start popping tops in the bar outside. Questions are welcome, and feel free to, if you got one, just throw up a hand. There's nothing formal here. Yell out, Gus, that sounds like a load of crap. Whatever you need to do to get my attention, all right? So, I ran across this quote a while back, and I don't know who Gary Zukov is, Gary_Zukov. We all have to talk on our Twitter handles now. He's a spiritual leader, I think. But it struck me because it reminded me of all the journeys I've had in my political career, my organizational career, my civic career, and such. And what this quote says is the longest journey you will make in your life is from your head to your heart. And those of us in public relations and communications, we know that's our goal. Whether we want somebody to spend some money, to show up at Tech Day, to help out with our nonprofit organization, we need to affect their head and their heart. Well, being somebody who's been in the trenches, from the top of the pyramid down to the head ditch digger, I know that the second longest journey is the 18 inches between somebody's knees and their butt to get them out of their chair and out into these chairs, or knocking doors, or filling up groceries at the food bank, or whatever the action is. That's what we have to do. So our talk today is going to be set in the background thought on all this is taking your online activity to create real-world action. Okay? No questions yet. Great. So what we've called this line of thought, this line of thinking, maybe the name of my book someday, whenever Monsanto sues me for using part of their name, AstroNetTurfRoots. And what we mean by AstroNetTurfRoots is we want to use our net roots, our net roots, our online grassroots network, and we combine that with real-world activity. And in the political world, when you ever have a rally, or you have some kind of something, where there's a bunch of people, especially if you do it in downtown, like at Keener Plaza, where they have something going on every day, and they bust the people in, well, your opponents are going to be there with the camera going, choo-choo-choo. As Grandpa and Grandma and Aunt Billy get off the bus, they're saying, well, they got paid actors. Those are false grassroots. It's called astroturfing. If you haven't heard that term, it's astroturfing. It's very common in the political world. It's very common in the business world. Here, Samsung was accused of astroturfing in Taiwan, going on and doing false comments against their competition in Taiwan. They had a big fine. So that's where we get AstroTurf from. By the way, AstroTurf was invented here in St. Louis at Monsanto. That's why they're assuming. All right, and if you want to get involved, let's get our knees and butts in action here. Interact with the PRSA and the good folks and the good work they're doing. Facebook, Twitter, again, the Tech Day hashtag for today. This is my dog Taffy. She helped me write. She helped me write the good stuff. The bad stuff is mine. What are we going to talk about today? audience sizes, audience outreach, what you should be doing, and what does and what doesn't work. Mostly what doesn't work. And for those of you who don't know who Arnold Drummond is, who's Talking Dead, engagements at events year-round, advocacy, developing relationships that respond. So what doesn't work? Somebody did this, I have a client involved in this, and I was aghast when I saw this the other day. Copycat editorials, writing one editorial, blasting it out to 600 newspapers, whether it's within one community or across the country, like these folks did. And then your opposition just goes, oh, Denver did this, St. Louis published this, St. Louis publishes. And all these say think tank president and St. Louis native, Michael Petrelli. Common Core is a conservative win for Utah, for Wisconsin, for North Carolina, for South Carolina. So they stack that up there and they expose you for not being genuine, because each one is tweaked and says some Ballast Road reference in the St. Louis one, or some Charleston food item or something for the South Carolina one. Even though your mission, your content is great, you do things like this, it makes you look genuine. What doesn't work? Newsjacking. Here's an innocent example of newsjacking from the other day when it was election time. Coca-Cola put out a tweet saying, vote no on empty glasses. Cute, fun, whatever, had absolutely no impact for Coca-Cola. I'm sure Coca-Cola's a client of mine, I can make fun of them, unless some of you tell them. What else doesn't work? Lies, and hiding behind curtains or smoke screens or whatever. The thing about media today, everybody's a reporter. You've got to be truthful and transparent. Ask any failed politician recently. The governor of Texas, Congressman Wagner. Is that how you say that? Told you, I purple little blue. Do not lie. You will be called out in 10 seconds. Rick Perry lost in the Republican debate when he couldn't remember the third department he wanted to shut down. And I watched him melt down in the palm of my hand while he was still on stage. His own people calling him out. God love him. So what does work? Hitting those hearts and heads. Taking those butts and knees in action. Everything you should be doing, you're something you're writing, creating, publishing, photographing, pig monkeying, everything should be done to try to get somebody to motivate them out of that chair or get that money out of their wallet. Take a second action other than reading. When you combine social good or good things with social media, and that's a small print here, by the way, these slides are published. The link will be going out shortly after this. Look at my Twitter handle for the link to this. Tons of good information. Did you know you can be an organ donor? Sign up to be an organ donor is your Facebook. And when you sign up to your Facebook to be an organ donor, you can share that information that you signed up to become an organ donor. And organ donations have risen, and it's been about 13 months since this tool was put in place. Zuckerberg's sisters are very active in that community. They've seen a 21.2-fold increase in the number of people signing up to be organ donors across the country. That's pretty cool. I did it. The day I did it, unbeknownst to me, a friend of mine's little nephew, newborn nephew, was getting a heart transplant that day, and she broke down on my news stream, saying how great, how great, how great. I was just writing a presentation. And that just caused another ripple. And more of my friends, I think 6 or 7 of my friends signed up to be an organ donor that day, or expanded their current organ donation through the Facebook tool. The link to that's in the bottom of the page. So what's our competition? A lot of what we're talking about today is going to be framed in grassroots activities with a line towards the government and political worlds. We got a lot of competition out there for the eyeballs and earballs, influencers, decision makers, and people with wallets. If you're trying to get the attention of somebody in Congress, there are 86,000 trade professional associations in this country. There are more than a million philanthropic and charitable organizations in this country. It's a lot. A lot of good people doing a lot of good work. Fortunately, we have a large pond of fish in with more than 6 million Missourians and more than 313 million Americans that we kind of have to try to get their attention. But there's also a lot of job opportunities here for all you students. If you want to take a look at something that worked twice across this country, it's the Obama for America plan. Their online and real-world activation plan. And they published the entire thing in a PDF form. And this link is here, and it's just full of reams of information that we liberate for our opponents of his party, our clients and such. works for any type of organization. The things in there apply to business, apply to charity, apply to whatever kind of organization that you're working with. If it works for the president, it's going to work for you. Because it doesn't matter if your grandma, that's my grandma, shaking your fist at City Hall, or the Tea Party shaking her fist at the wind blowing from whatever direction. You've got to have a story. You've got to have something that connects. And here's where I usually go into this whole goofy thing about, I used to go to bars and talk to girls, and what's your story? I got a better last night, I was telling some people, I went to this event in St. Charles County last night. I'm from Jefferson City, by the way. I came in tonight early because of this event. You guys probably know Daryl Strawberry, who lives in St. Charles County. He's very active in the autism community. He's connected with a group called the Center for Autism Education. And what they do is, basically it's an adult daycare for those folks afflicted who can't stay home, can't work, can't do those kind of things. They told a story. The director of this had a couple slideshows, and she showed a couple of their clients. One of these gentlemen, Steve or Dave, I don't even remember his name. What I do remember is that his favorite thing to do was play Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash over and over and over and over and over again on a guitar in their center every day. And that touched me because Ring of Fire was actually our wedding song for some reason. So what they did, by that 30-second little quip about Dave or Steve or whatever with the guitar, touch my heart, touch my head, touch my wallet. They got me for $100, which I told them to earmark for guitar picks for Steve or Dave or whatever his name is. So in doing impactful things like that, sharing those stories, putting that truth and transparency is going to motivate people like me who want to help good causes but don't know how, or don't realize that I helped you once and I need to help you again, or 3 times, etc. And social media, as you all know, is a very, very powerful tool for doing these types of things. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, well, kind of, or YouTube. Who saw this last week? All right. Who actually held it in the newspaper in their hands with the 50 cents or 75 cents that the Post-Dispatch Who paid for their own paper? Come on. All right. All right. Who saw it on social media for about 3 days afterwards, over and over and over again? This was from Channel 5. 14 hours, they had 19,000 people liking it, 9,000 people sharing it, and all these comments here. These comments are getting 109, 118, 75 likes on comments that people are putting on the KSDK Facebook page about this. A full page in the Post-Dispatch costs somewhere in the high 5 figures. Do you think the Red Sox, who are actually kind of making fun of St. Louis for just being cute and kind of losing the World Series, in my mind, doing this, do you think they got their money's worth?
Oh, yeah.
Do we think, does St. Louis go, hey, those Red Sox guys are pretty cool? What were you thinking in 04 when they didn't do this? All right, so taking actions like this goodwill like this, and encouraging your audiences to share. I know Cardinal Nation will share anything. This is low-hanging fruit here. It's starting to get more difficult. Sharing this type of videos, putting that kind of information out there for people to share on social. People are taking pictures of the newspaper they saw at parties because they didn't spend money on the post themselves. And it's rippling out to millions of people across the world through the social channels. For those of us who were there in the early days of YouTube, we probably remember United Breaks Guitars, right? Remember the mariachis in the back seat? You know what else that United Airlines has? Apparently they kill greyhounds. This is something that's been going on. There was a picture of a bull mastiff last week. I found it, saved the picture, didn't ever know correctly for the link, because it was really sad. They almost killed a bull mastiff last week. This was posted in one day. It had 509 shares, 119 people liking it. Again, all the comments are getting likes and interaction. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Good news travels fast. Bad news travels fastest on the internet, right? That's why we have crisis communications. It's a course of study in PR. We all know this, I hope. The points of interest in the social media plan, should all be tying back to these things. This is your matrix. You throw everything against every tweet, every post, every picture, every pin that you're putting out there. You want to throw this against it. Does it meet one or more of these criteria? And is it going to hit a head, heart, knee, or butt? Again, this is all going to be available at the link. Here's some stuff that doesn't work. TV and radio ads, newspaper ads are largely ignored unless you take a picture of the Cardinals newspaper ad. Direct mail is tossed and hopefully recycled. Direct mail is tossed and hopefully recycled. That was a joke. I'm not losing it yet. And from my experience in the Capitol, trust me, this is true. Once a year days at the Capitol or community days where everybody shows up in the same color shirt, incredibly ineffective. Because I'm trying to make it to the floor, to the bathroom, because I got a bell ringing, whether it's realistically or figuratively. I got to be somewhere, and all I see are red shirts, green shirts, blue shirts, and I don't know if you're the some labor union or the 4th grade from Puxico grade school. All I see is that you're in my way, and 3 more groups with the same color shirts are going to be there tomorrow. You're not standing out by doing something like this. We call this the t-shirt trap, and it's a full confession that's me with the bullhorn. I've fallen into that t-shirt trap many times. We're a graphic design shop. We design a lot of t-shirts for these causes. And it's my mission to, is anybody here in the t-shirt printing industry? The screen printers hate me. Anyway, don't fall into the t-shirt trap. What doesn't work? Being fake or dishonest, not listening. God gave you 2 ears for a reason. Turn your earballs on. Selling all the time. Do not be selling all the time. Social media is the worst place to sell. Inform, educate, entertain. Do not be selling. Maybe 1 out of every 10 posts should be a sales pitch. Not measuring, as we mentioned earlier. Crossing streams. For God's sakes, quit tweeting your Facebook links, please. Especially when people are interacting with it mobily and they just hit a wall and they can't take any action because your Facebook app is not actually logged to you in to Facebook, and it just hits you to a page that you can't interact with. It just frustrates people. How not to get beat. Again, these will be available. You don't have to write all this stuff down. We're going to go fast. How's my time? Please get my time card. All right. Build and develop your content plan. What are you going to say? How are you going to say it? What are you going to do? Before you do anything, before you shovel 1 pixel, before you take 1 pick monkey, figure out what you're going to do. Then establish your web portal, your Facebook, your other social accounts if you don't have them already. Hurry up and get those because the good Twitter handles are getting low. Establish your email newsletter, sign up. It's always about collecting emails. Email seems too slow for some of us in this room, right? But it moves butts and hearts stronger and faster than anything else. Grandma still likes to forward all the emails, right? Publish a bunch of content before you launch your new project. So when somebody goes there the first day, they don't see the moving boxes still. They don't see an empty website. They don't see an empty Facebook page. They see something that's already been published. And they can get a little sense of what's going on in your mission on that first impression. Begin your influencer outreach. We're all influencers, or we all want to be in this room, right? So we need people reaching out to us just as much as we have to be reaching out to the media, or the elected officials, or the people who control purse strings, whether it's $1 or $1 million purse strings. Start reaching out to them. Hey, we're here. Find us on our channels. Share. Urge them to share. Those influencers have such large audiences. If you can get them to tweet out your link and pick up even a small percentage of their audience, you're going to be so much better off than blasting out 50 pieces of direct mail. Begin a responsible email program. Remember, earn your email addresses. Don't lift your email addresses. Don't steal your email addresses. Have you heard an old Seinfeld episode about that? Getting phone numbers off the walk list or something? Utilize Facebook and Twitter ads and AdWords, and be transparent in who's writing. If you've got multiple people managing your social media, you probably have, even if it's a small inflection, your tone is going to be different. So if you have to put a little arrow with your initials, I can't see your tag. If I have to put an EA at the end of the tweet so I know Erica's writing it, or a JG, that's Julia, Jordan, I'm sorry. I merged your names there. Just so they know. And it also has another point of connection. And I like Jordan's tweets better than Erica's tweets. I do, actually. They are good. Monitor, again. Monitor analytics. Keep looking at that every day, seeing what's resonating, seeing what's connecting. Recycle, repurpose that content. Keep coming back to that piece of content if you have to, or that theme. post content at least twice a day. Keep it fresh. The average, who knows this? I have no prizes this time, sorry. What's the average life of a Facebook post? Average shelf life? 2.5 hours. 45 minutes. A tweet, less than 1 minute. On the first cycle, you start getting likes, shares, retweets, things like that, until we get longer and expand. But the one I sent out for about this event, saying there was an open bar at this speech, I got no interaction from y'all. It lasted 1 minute. Services are tomorrow. Take a stand. If you're in some public policy or nonprofit or even advertising or communications, take a stand. Separate yourself from the crowd. Where's my Everybody likes the cupcakes, but I like them the best. I put buffalo wings on my cupcakes. She took a stand for buffalo wings on cupcakes. And now she's on CNN. What did you do today? Commit to keep at it, okay? Commit to keep at it. Don't get frustrated on day 1. Don't get frustrated on week 17. You're going to have ups and downs. Cupcake Project had ups and downs on the graph that she showed of her own. Her transparency that she showed on her slide. Guess what? She's still putting buffalo wings and cupcakes. But why? Why? Because you've got to connect to the people that you're your audience. You've got to create real world action. It's always about the real world. Always. No, I mean, I'm talking about the internet now. It's always about the real world. That's a life lesson. MTV forever. Because if you don't connect with the real world, and you've got a rally, you've got something important, that you need people at Keener Plaza, and you rent the bus, and you get over a dozen people rally outside the congressman's office. You get 10 people protested Monday outside the Clean Gas building. Scott Brown was in town, former senator, 40 Republicans, mostly students, showed up at Mizzou for his 2-hour presentation. Okay, and you might be thinking, oh, hey, we got in the paper. But guess what? What was the reaction when I just told you how many people showed up? You laughed. That's called negative PR. That's killing your sentiment. That's killing your mission. And if you've got influencers or check writers or whoever that you need to get involved, or even customers, you have to remember those people. And you go out and say, oh, hey, we represent 40 million people that are afflicted with left-handedness in this nation. And they go to your Facebook, and they go to your Twitter, and they say you have an audience of 47 people, and then they see a headline where 40 people or 10 people showed up to your left-hand rally. Guess who's not getting a check? Guess who's not getting an order? That's the thing about social. It's transparent on their end as well. They publish your audience, which is an illustration of the relevancy in a lot of folks' minds. How many articles and links did you see yesterday with the Twitter IPO? Here's the most powerful people in Paducah on Twitter. And it was just the largest people who lived in Paducah, or St. Louis, Nellie, is the most powerful Twitterer in St. Louis. The Business Journal's not in here, are they? They printed that list. Good list. Good list. If you like rappers, we don't live here anymore. Because the mainstream media relies on social. Here's Shepard Smith at Fox with their giant jumbo screens. This is a Twitter feed. Hey, we should probably report on Grandma Johnson's cat in the tree. Or, oh my God, did you see the burgers at Five Guys? Whatever they're reading on Twitter is going to be on their news show 30 minutes later. Breaking news, if there's a ship crash, where are they getting their live action reports? Where did they get the LA shooting at the airport last week? People reporting off Twitter. It's the reporters, and I don't know if there's any reporters in here, but if you want to be in PR, you've got to be in control of your message and your channels across social, because that's where the reporters, the editors, and such are going to go look first. Right, Shep? Right, Gus? What doesn't work? How many of you have that Find Me on Facebook thing plastered across your printed materials, your business cards, whatever? And guess what? Nobody in the history of the world has ever found you. You've got to print your entire address on your thing. Facebook.com/Rocket Group. Facebook.com/PRSA STL. Whatever your address is, make it easy for that third grade reading person that we're all trying to reach their wallet, or Harp and Head and Easy Bud, to find you on Facebook or Twitter or wherever. Pop quiz! If you've taken this before, Sweet spot for a post length on Facebook. For the greatest level of success. Survey says. Anybody? Throw out a number. Somebody say a number. I'll tell you you're wrong. 80. Less than a tweet. Less than a tweet. 80 characters. Including your link. Including your LOL hashtag. Or whatever hashtag you're using. 80 characters. Anything less, anything more. Test it. Experiment with it. I do this all the time. I test different audiences. My new favorite current test is like one sentence with a link, then a follow-up sentence, and a separate little paragraph, and then 3 hashtags there. Yeah. It works for Mari Smith. Look at her. Mari like Ferrari. You guys know her? Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I test it. No bomb, no bomb. We go to a short content little post. Works great. You know what's been working great for us recently? Is text-only posts from a mobile device to a brand page. It's like triple the amount of impressions. I don't know what's up with that algorithm, but there's a little secret hole in the algorithm that's letting a text-only mobile post get greater response. Best time of day to post?
Friday, 1 p.m.
No, I think it's like 4:15. No, it's 4:15 right now. There is no right answer to this because each audience is different. Each one of your audiences is most active on Facebook at a different day or a different time, etc. Facebook will publish all this information if you want to trust all the little graphs that kind of deviate about 1/8 of an inch on your insights. But test and look at all your responses and your interactions and note catalog if you have to physically in a little chart. We still use pens and paper, right? The best, I posted this one at 10:02 and it got no likes. I posted this one at 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Is that what you said?
I started checking it out.
Right. So if I posted something at 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and I got 40 likes, well, hell, I need to do that every Friday at 1 o'clock, don't I? I hit a little, I need to test it and keep looking at that. But remember, every audience is different. If you manage 15 pages, you've got 15 different audiences. You can't put the same time and date on each one of them. Best driver of interaction. Talked about this earlier in this room. I didn't, she did. Photos. Thank you, good answer. Melanie? Good answer, Melanie. Using personal pages as a business page. All together?
No.
Incorrect. The answer is hell no. Don't do this. If you have a friend who's doing this, have an intervention, please. Mobile device or desktop. I just talked about this. Again, it's up to your audience. Test it. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it honest. Keep it transparent. If you're not the greatest autism association in town, don't say you are. If you're not the best car wash in town, don't say you are. Because you're going to get called out. And you're going to dig yourself a deep, dark hole. I almost said ass, you're right. Fish where the cake is. We did a study, and it's flawed, but at least it was something that was a study that I had my intern do. On my birthday, everybody says happy birthday to you on your birthday, right? On your personal page. Well, I have a lot of Facebook friends who I do business with or potentially do business with. So I had my intern sit down and write down each name and what time it was. And then we cataloged all that out, segregated out to people that can't spend money with me. And we charted it all out by hours. And we found out that the early morning hours, 69% of my people were on Facebook, at least to write happy birthday. Evening hours were 14%. But you know what? That was the deep pockets. Knowing my audience, knowing the people who, and I know it's not scientific or anything, but the deepest potential in my personal friend list of me to do business with, to spend dollars with me, were people after hours, winding down in front of the TV with their multiple screens going, oh hey Gus, by the way, happy birthday. Check it out on your birthday. For our nonprofits in the room, don't forget the weekends. Your audience is active and aware on the weekends. If you got some kind of bazaar or event or food bagging or whatever it is on the weekend, hey, here we are, live ticket, live tweet it, whatever. People will see it and come. You'll pick up additional hands. You'll pick up additional support. You'll pick up additional web traffic. I'm not saying it should be monumental or be a time-shifting thing, but it's going to help you more than posting it at 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon or 4 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. Let's look at the audiences. We have majority of Missourians, the majority of Americans, sorry for my Illinois people who are in the room, by the way, this is very Missouri-based. The only thing I can say to my, who's from Illinois?
Wow.
I would like to invite you to move west. That's a message from the Missouri Movers and Tourism Board, right? All right. So we have 3.4 Missouri Facebook accounts, 3.4 million Missouri Facebook accounts, 178 million American Facebook accounts. That's like 52% on both segments of based against our regular population, our total population. Okay. Twitter obviously is a smaller population, but by God, those are the influencers. That's where your Nellies of the world are. And your Chains, is that a guy? Chain? What's it? How'd you know that? Kim, I'm impressed. All right, so let's take it back to the Missouri legislature a little bit here. There's a lot of old white guys who work underneath this roof here. I used to be one of them. My window was on the back of this building. Anyway, we've gone from 85% of the Missouri House to 94% of the Missouri House that's active on Facebook. From 57% in 2012 to 85% in 2013. This is when the new legislature came in, the reorganized legislature came in. Of that 85%, I'm sorry, that's on the Senate side, 93% of the 85% that are on Twitter are actually active. They're actually tweeting. They're actually interacting on Twitter. And if you're trying to get some elected dudes' attention, trust me, tweet or Facebook at them. They will love you forever. You will be their best social media friend. Some of them will taunt you back if you talk back. You've seen those headlines. Anyway, they are looking for interaction. When your city councilman says, hey, we're having a meeting on the pothole redevelopment project on Adams Street, they are wanting you to interact with that post. I'm going to be there. I'm curious. All right, what about my sidewalk? Whatever. Interact with those people. You'll be surprised. You all of a sudden become a squeaky wheel, and you might get some oil on it and get your issues taken care of. Because they have a deeper connection with you now, a social media connection with you. So when you go in there with your hand out or your hat in hand, they're going to be like, oh, you're at Fluffy Dog 13, aren't you? I know you. How many of us who are on Twitter with using our real names have people just kind of look at you funny? And they kind of do this thing at your face? And they're like, oh, I know you. You're that guy. You're that Twitter guy. You guys get that? I don't either. It's a dream. It's a dream. All right. Be interesting. Be integrated. Be local. Don't talk about all these big world issues all the time. Bring it back home to Adams Street potholes. Whatever you can. You get your neighbors involved. They're on social media too. St. Louis is a very social media town. It's not New York, LA, Austin, those kind of places, but it's still ingrained and has a large audience, and you can become a part of that. Be searching for other topics and interesting things to talk about and share and communicate with to your audiences. Be investing. Be thinking like your audience, not like you. Okay? It's never, ever, ever what you want to write about or what you want to talk about. If you want to move butts and hearts and dollars, it's what they want to talk about. Right? They taught you that in Illinois, right? Illinois State, wherever you guys are from. Carbondale, right? And be calling to action. You've got to put that call to action into your CTAs. What do you want them to do with the information that you just gave them? Why do they need to know that there's a food drive? Or the scouts are putting bags in the doors, or whatever that call, whatever that is. Hey, lady, put your lima beans in the bag so we give to the hungry people. That kind of calls to action. Write that check to the autistic kid. Write that check to the congressman who's going to fix the pothole on Adams Street. Put that call to action in there. I told you happy hour's coming. Everybody knows this, right? Social media is free. It's free like a beer, or is it free like a dog? If somebody gives me a free beer, I'm going to drink it, enjoy it, have a joke or a laugh at that person who bought me the beer, and maybe buy the next round. If somebody gives me a free dog, now I'm sunk into 12 to 15 years, 3 times a day walking, $60 a month in grooming, $100 a month in vet bills. I getting a little personal here. This is a 12 to 15-year commitment. This is about 30 seconds of my life. No. It is free to sign up for these accounts. It's a dog to run them. It's a dog to create the content. It's a dog to create things that are going to entertain your audiences and move those hearts and butts and knees and wallets, right? Think of it free like a dog, not free like a beer. That's your tweetable moment that came out of this presentation. That's Taffy again. Always keep your ears on for those opportunities to entertain and inform and motivate your audiences. Keep your ears up and open. The bird goes tweet. See how relevant I am, Kim? Cutting edge, baby. Cutting edge. Twitter. My God, who loves Twitter more than anything else? Thank you, Jack Dorsey. Thanks for coming out tonight, Jack. There you can see him. He's on the pile of money. By the way, did you guys see the hashtag on the front page of the Post-Dispatch today? See, nobody buys it. I proved you all wrong. You bought your own papers. The bird goes tweet. Keep those Twitters going. Don't be publishing the same content that you put the 10 o'clock a.m. Facebook post up. I'm going to send the same thing on Twitter, say the same thing, and I'll probably just link it back to my feed. Don't do that. They're two different audiences. They want to be talked to in two different ways. So you're going to interact with them, and you call them to action in two completely different ways. No matter how much Facebook adds hashtags or @ signs or whatever, the Twitter audience is going to be much more likely to share your content, to retweet your content, to do whatever, interact with your content, than the Facebook, unless you're the Cardinals, as we saw earlier. So the bird goes tweet. And we all know, people mock me when I say this, but we all know that this is a pound sign. No. We all know that this is a hashtag, and it's the most powerful tool in social media, right? We know that this is used to take all of the white noise across all of the most of the social channels, come on LinkedIn, and take it and collate it around hashtag keywords, whether it's hamburger or PRSA Tech Day, just Tech Day, PRSA St. Louis is the handle, or rutabagas, or whatever. This is the powerful tool that gets you to new audiences, that gets people interacting with you, and this helps you grow all your social things, all your social channels. But who's paying attention? Back fingers. Hold this for me. You can pass it around. That's my grandpa's hashtag, by the way. It was a pound sign when he made it. But who's paying attention? You've got to keep ingraining and reaching out to those folks because, again, here's my transparency. That's me not paying attention to some rally at the Capitol I'm supposed to be paying attention to. I'm reading Twitter, or reading email, or reading news, or doing something not what I'm supposed to be doing because the audience right in front of me physically is not entertaining me enough. Just like you are in the back room with your phone not listening to me right now. She's doing great. I was not entertained. Gary was not entertained. Tracy was not entertained or involved or committed to the audience right physically in front of us because they didn't say my name. They weren't relevant to me. They did not ingrain me into the conversation. They did not hashtag me or @ me. You've got to say my name. And if you don't like Destiny's Child, all right? If you want to catch my attention, if you want me to see what you're saying, it's so important. Say my name, @ me on Twitter, link me on Facebook. I'm going to get that notification because I'm a narcissistic individual. I'm going to look at all my mentions before I look at my news feed. Right? Right? Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. Say my name. You're going to get my attention. And while we're gathering all this content, we're sharing all this, creating all these things, let's make sure that it's real stuff. Again, with the truth and transparency. Who fell for these Hurricane Sandy photos when the storm hit? People shared these storm photos and went crazy. Oh my God, the Statue of Liberty fell down. All this nonsense that happened when the hurricane likely blew in our state. I'm sorry, it wasn't likely. It was a real thing. It was a real thing. But meanwhile, my uncle's carpet shop down the street, who'd been in town for 50 years and carpeted most of the homes in my community, went out of business because, or it wasn't a carpet shop, it was a taco store. It went out of business because everybody thought it was doing great because they had good food and good service, and people would sit there and they would take selfies of them doing stuff at the margarita bar, and they would do all these other things, but they would never check in. They would never take a picture of his tacos and share that taco and say, my God, this is the best taco I ever had. And this guy's not even Mexican. He's German. What the heck? All right? So my uncle went out of business while you were busy sharing all these storm photos that weren't even real. So you share this, you don't interact with things that you actually like. These are our Facebook friends, right? If we like the service we're getting from the taco stand, we should share that so our friends can interact and do business with the things that we like. Because we really like our friends, right? I saw that. I told you there was going to be math, right? Here's the algorithm. A share is greater than a check-in, is greater than a comment, is greater than a like, which is greater than nothing at all. Anybody want to argue? You can make a better thesis? Because, I'll tell you why. This is all it takes to make a like. A click. A click. A click. Alright? That's all the thought I put into making that click to say I like something. But if I share something, if I retweet something, my God, I've been given the opportunity to make a pithy, witty comment, to expound, to further endorse, to condemn whatever it is that I'm liking, sharing, or retweeting, right? That's an opportunity to have my voice heard to something I'm endorsing. But people still share nonsense like the lottery dude. This dude, when I caught it, was 19 hours old. You guys remember the story last year? I'm going to give you $1 million for whoever shares this post. In 19 hours, 251 silly people shared this post. 251,000, thank you, shared this post. This chick here, Carrie Shannon, I'm sorry, Carrie. You seriously won? Congrats, dude. Silly, silly people. So make sure that the stuff's legit. If it doesn't pass your smell test, don't further muddy the waters by sharing junk out there, because that's when the people, the CEOs that we were talking about in the video class, when they look at the social, where's my ROA? They think of the lottery ticket dude, or they think of the Sandy Storm photos, all that junk and nonsense that's out there. They think of, I don't know what Nelly says on Twitter, but it can't be too relevant, can it? That kind of junk. We're the business professionals on social media. We should be leading the way. It's our responsibility. We call this the law of Uncle Ben. It's ours because everything about responsibility ties back to Spider-Man's uncles. It's our responsibility as social media professionals, or aspiring social media professionals, to take our knowledge and share it with others, like I'm doing here today, and that other folks have done here today, and what the folks do at the other presentations you go to about social media, or the talks that you give, or would one day give. It's your responsibility, it's my responsibility to teach people how best to use these things, so we can knock out some of the junk, and get more businesses, get more interaction, get more hearts, minds, butts, and wallets involved in forward motion on social media. So, you've done all this stuff with your organization, be it your business, your nonprofit, your whatever. You've got to get your people from that lead ditch digger to the guy who writes the checks at the top of the pyramid. Not a scheme, it's a pyramid. So you've got to empower them to broaden your message, to get involved with your message, to get involved with the communications and the public relations that go out there. Train your people, involve your people, give them something to do at all times. Keep them informed and delegate responsibilities to them once they are comfortable. Even if it's called to action, hey guys, I need you to share this Facebook post. And please don't write, please share this Facebook post in your Facebook post. But empower your people, because the core message of our AstroNetTurfRoots is this: an engaged, involved, informed, and trained membership, or quiet list, or supporter list, or contributor list, or volunteer list, will be your greatest asset. And the key point you've got to do, if you're going to be a professional in this field, if you're going to be, what was that, a promature? The professional amateur, somebody said a while ago? I like that word. Whatever that word was, I liked it. Commit. Commit to furthering your education. Commit to furthering your experience. This stuff changes on a daily basis in some large or small way. You can cannot be an expert, you cannot be a professional bike guide, you cannot be a guru or a ninja. Look at those titles too. You've got to keep on top of this stuff. You've got to learn this stuff. And pay attention to your audiences. Commit to looking at your analytics frequently. So you're not just shouting to an empty room. Okay? Commit, commit, commit. And broaden that audience. Broaden the folks, the helping hands that can help you share your message. The two most powerful words in social media are thank you. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, Gus Uncle's Taco Shop, for sponsoring this event. Saying people's names, insert name here, for helping us today is a powerful, powerful tool. All right, so all that being said, who's ready to rock some AstroNetTurfRoots? You guys ready? You guys ready? Taffy says that's all we got, folks. I'm Gus Wagner. I own the Rocket Group. I thank you for being patient. One thing before the claps, if you go to the link, it's being tweeted out, it's being shared, etc. There is bonus content, how-tos, additional how-tos, including how to live tweet an event, and celebrity interviews. What? Celebrity interviews. True story. Celebrity interviews about social media. Stars of NASCAR and country music and me talking about what's best to do in 3 to 4 minute videos. If you don't believe me. What? There it is right there. So thank you guys. You've been great. The bar's open. At Rocket Group. Any questions?